I mean, you have to think, the man. If you really think about it, their slave-owning ancestors still have to pay for what they did. No, that's just being terrible. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't really care. Like, if you're like a repeat, like, I always think that, I mean, I believe strongly in the death penalty. Like, if you get, like, there was some guy who got caught on camera and shot like 5 people, and he got like 30 years. And I think it was like 30 years per person. It's like, just kill him. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Like, if someone's life without parole and he's guilty as fuck, like, just end it. Like, why spend all this money on him? Just end it. I'm not saying, like, oh, just rush to get rid of him. Like, if he wants to appeal it, he can go ahead. But it's one of those, like, why are we wasting time and money on this person? Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Yeah, yes, I want you to merge that. And, like...
Oh, magical beasts who serve us, merge thy...
Yeah, but they're trying to get rid of that. They're trying to make it so, like, you have to pay for your birth control and all this. But there are subsidies that help get it. But I just don't understand why you wouldn't want birth control. Like, seriously, the last thing you need is more, like, unwashed, uneducated babies in the world. Because honestly, like, people who get, like, I think they should get rid of the tax benefit. Yeah, pretty much. And I think, like, it's stupid in America that for our tax plan, like, people get benefits for having children. Like, I get it for, like, the first 2 children. Like, obviously, you're just replacing yourself. But once you have 3 or more, you should get no bonus. And once you have more than 3, you should be taxed. Like, basically, you know, X amount. Like, say you get $200 for each child in tax return. So, like, for the first 2, that means, yeah, you get $400. Not a bad deal. It's in a year, so it sucks. But then after you have 3, there should be no benefit. And then every child after is $200 penalty. Because seriously, there are some people I know personally that have like 8 or 9 children. They don't work. They like live off of child support and then get huge tax returns. Like, it's disgusting. You're such a white supremacist, man. But you are Russian, so it's pretty much like in your code.
Oh, magic.
Although I did hear a French person call Russians the N-word of Europeans, which was magical. Oh, you're so colorful as a man. Some people like alternative viewpoints, but also some people really like punching themselves in the dick, so there's that. He's kind of like... Skaib is kind of nothing. So let's get Turfraid instead of Skaib.
Well, good luck.
Let's go grind in the forest just a little bit more, considering they're enemies that still like whoop my ass. Already, this game has quite a bit of grinding, so it's kind of eh. I mean, what do you expect? It's an RPG, but... Alright, let's get you a level, if possible. But, I don't know, there's like people who legitimately have too many children, and it's fucking gross. Yeah. It's a colorful analogy. This really gives me like a hardcore Monster Rancher feel. I think that's why I'd rather talk about anything else. Well, I don't get it, because I agree very much with like Samuel L. Jackson and other people. How it's like, if you're going to say it, say it. I don't say it because Twitch takes a hardline stance on it. But, and I mean, other than using it as an expletive, really, there's no other use for the word. But even some basic words Twitch bans, or doesn't like at all. But it's weird, because you could say, like, crackers all day, and they don't give a shit. I mean, I had a white friend who said that you should kill all white people because they're all responsible, and white men are the reason why there's so many problems in the world. And it's funny that that's, like, perfectly okay to say, but if you said the same thing about, you know, any other, like, race or group, you'd be, like, ostracized forever. It's this wonderful, like, double standard. Oh yeah. Get wrecked. Although I probably shouldn't have done that. I know. I mean, my thing is that people, truthfully, they can be as racist as they want, as long as they don't express it in the workplace or in education. I don't really care. Like, I'd rather you say some stupid racist shit that's just, like, absolutely disgusting. Like, pretty much anything you say about black people's a man. But I'd rather you have the right to say it than to feel like you have to hide it or, like, join secret groups to talk about it. Like fucking KKK and Black Panthers and all that bullshit. Like, I'd rather someone be wrong and say it out in public. Like that old saying, it's better to be a fool and not say anything than to open your mouth and confirm it. At least I believe that's the way it goes. I never remember the exact way it goes because the phrasing's weird. But it's just one of those things that's so bizarre. Like, I'd rather people be at least open about what they want to talk about and have, like, a rational debate. But at this point, rational debate's out the window. Like, I think feminists have pissed in that pot so hard that no one can have just, like, a regular civilized debate. I wouldn't be lying if I said that, in general, like, ghetto culture is ruining America. Alright. Let's do this. Let's summon him. But it's the worst part is that even decent black communities are being ruined by, like, ghetto culture. So it's not like they should be proud of it. Like, I really appreciate that I watched a documentary about fucking Flocka and, or Gravel as it's known, which is basically, which the man, you should probably know this, which is a synthesized ingredient from the leaves of the cut plant, or quat, from the Middle East. And it's basically the synthesized hallucinogen from it that you smoke. And apparently it's become, like, such a problem in Florida and the South, and, like, poor communities are just like, yep, I'll smoke it. So you see, like, naked people out screaming about how Jesus is going to punish them and shit like that. And the worst part is it's, like, become an epidemic because in ghetto culture it's like, yeah, let's just smoke whatever the fuck this is. Alright, I'm gonna assume, yeah. And the worst part is that all these people, like, we have to take a stand against it. And it's like, you tried that with crack, and you tried it with all this other stuff, and none of it worked. Yeah, well, it's sad that there's some inner city black communities that want that. They want to be, like, segregated from, it's only mildly hallucinogenic. It's not, like, intensive. But if you concentrate the ingredient, you will get a hallucinogen. One of the ingredients. But, it's just sad that, like, there are these communities that literally are okay with people running around naked, like, covered in marker that they just huffed. And they're like, oh yeah, that's just that guy. That's just Frank the crackhead. Like, get out of here with that nonsense. You shouldn't just be like, oh, that's just the crackhead guy. Like, what's wrong with your community that you're okay with that? But that's really what I, like, take offense to. Well, they already did, because Detroit is mostly a black community, and it's falling apart. And it's not necessarily even due to the community being black. It has everything to do with non-stop poverty, drugs, and crime. Also, it's really stupid because a lot of people who worked in, like, the automotive industry in Detroit, a lot of them had really cushy jobs for a very long time, and then they just, like, kind of shit in the pot for it. They were just like, yeah, we have these really cushy jobs, but we didn't save or reinvest our money. It's like all the people who saved and reinvested their money ended up moving somewhere else. Or, like, opening their own business. But it's sad that they had, like, a union where they'd make, like, trouble. No, that's a common misconception. And truthfully, if the CIA wanted to do that, something like that, like, you wouldn't just create a drug that anyone could potentially get hooked on. You would do it smart and work to intentionally create, like, a helter-skelter kind of thing. I mean, essentially that's what Charles Manson tried to do. But it's one of those things, like, if you're going to go against anybody, you just intentionally inspire groups that cause hate and be okay with it. Like, funding their activities and getting into investigations that cause that. Like in Spain, when they had the, I believe it was the gypsies, they tried to kill all the gypsies by getting anti-gypsy groups together. And they got the groups together and essentially spread misinformation. And whenever they would, like, essentially find a gypsy community and, like, burn it down and stuff, the government would look into it, but then they would have no result found. So that way they could get away with doing it. Or similar to how a certain Russian dictator took a whole bunch of undesirables and sent them to an island. But I mean, really, if you want to commit genocide against people, it's really not that hard. I mean, people always make this like, oh, slow, systematic. It's like, no. What the English did to the Irish was slow and systematic. Like, oh, all your firstborn sons will be raped English babies. Holy shit. Holy shit. Well, let's see what happens when they die. Actually, I should probably not let him die. Oh my god. Poison is such bullshit in this game. No, just attack him. I really hate these poison enemies. Well, you're Russian, of course you'd say that. Let's try my new Pokemon. Oh, look at that. He's got good damage. Well, I don't know what you were trying to say, but that's kind of funny. What is the ring of poison or whatever? A ring of venom. I fell in. It can be like protect from poison or something. Releases poison mist when broken. Instantly causes excruciating pain. That sounds great. Nope, not what I meant to do. Okay, fine. Well, the worst part is that there's higher options to set that too. Okay, good. At least I'm not getting poisoned. I really wish I could see their fucking levels and experience. Not that I saw. Because as far as I'm aware, I've never even turned it on. Because I think mine's at the lowest setting. As in, you can pretty much say whatever you want, but I think there's certain things they automatically ban. I mean, they ban people for saying the word, so it doesn't surprise me. Okay, and is this going to open that chest back in the beginning? Ugh. One-time use keys. No, because I don't even think you can say, like, kill on the maximum setting, but mine's on the farthest to the left setting. Yeah. Yeah, because I know some things are globally banned. Like the PewDiePie saying mean words. Okay, this looks like a pick-upable thing. Screw that. Like the moderate all comments, like fucking Nazi. Like, what is this? A Russian newspaper? I don't get why people... Like, it's the same thing with, like, the YouTube adpocalypse. Like, people are gonna say stuff. Like, you're always gonna hear something controversial. Like, I love how they're like, oh, well, we won't do this. Or, like, oh, somebody on InfoWars said something I don't like, so I'm pulling my commercials. Or, like, oh, no, Bill O'Reilly said something controversial again. Better pull my fucking bleach ads. Like, no one cares. No one associates your product. Yeah, that's weird. Gypsies, now a protected class. It's not like the gypsies have internet, let's be serious. They spend most of their time wearing tacky jewelry, dancing, drinking, and conning people. And wearing gaudy wedding dresses. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like some of the gypsy ideology, but the, like, marrying people that are, like, first cousins and stuff is, like, no thank you. Pass on that forever. Alright, I want to, like, try to capture at least one more so I can get a level. Yeah, capture one of you. Yes, surprisingly they do. They actually have a fairly orthodox religion, despite the fact that they seem like they're very... And I don't mean Russian Orthodox, I just mean an orthodoxy. That they're pretty strict about, but it's weird that they're okay with, like, stealing, swindling, and having premarital sex. But it's like early Judaism, where it's okay to murder and steal from non-Jews, that it's perfectly okay. But if you kill a Jew, you're sentenced to hell forever. You're banned from the community as a murderer. You've broken a commandment. But then again, the same can really be said for the Russian Orthodoxy with their, like, you know, peaceful intent and all this stuff, and, you know, the Lord is with you and all this, and then they're like, oh yeah, you know, abstain and really devote yourself. And then Russian people just go around shirtless, drunk, and getting into fights. Pretty much it's like a southern every day in Russia. Well, the weird thing is when I was growing up, there was a friend of mine and his I'm just trying to get you as auto-modded as possible. But he was a rabbi, and he basically outright told me that he's like, there were no Jews for a long time. He's like, pretty much the Jews went extinct and then were revived later, but they call themselves like the original Jews, but it's not an unbroken line. I mean, American Jews are, in general, self-indulgent, and overall they're ugly as fuck, but they put themselves in like Hollywood movies trying to be the hot guy, like Ben Stiller trying to be like a lead romantic. Like, fuck off. Like, I don't know a single woman that's like, oh, I can barely keep my panties on when I see Ben Stiller, but they somehow put guys who look like him as like Shia LaBeouf and all those people. It's like, no, they're not attractive. And like, I mean, knowing a lot of Jews, I can certainly say that. And but like, I take offense to like Israelis. They fucking hijack planes and they're like, look at those Arabs. They're so uncivilized and they hijack planes. It's like, didn't you just get caught for that like a few years ago? Yes, but they're the uncivilized ones. You're like, no, you're both the same. You're both like the scum of this planet. You're both terrorists. Like, let's not play games here. I do love when they like the whole thing about, hey Nicodem, how's it going? Of the Israelis gassing a whole bunch of Palestinians, and then they're like, they tried to explain it, and it's like, wait, didn't you guys like get Israel because a bunch of you were gassed, and now you're gassing other people? Like, did you not learn a lesson?
Our enemy we love, and for the tormented we pray.
It's going well. Zaman and I have had a long-winded, racist, ableist, and anti-religious. Alright, since I can, let's see what you posted. I have to go like this long-ass way to see what you posted. Shia LaBeouf, fucking Shia LaBeouf, the gift that keeps on giving. You got auto-modded for saying fucking Shia LaBeouf. Oh my god. The auto-mod will divide you. Oh, that's gold. Oh wait. No, I'm going to allow the fucking Shia LaBeouf comment. I will allow that. What the hell? Why is it? Let me see something. Okay, that's weird. I think in my chat box it's letting you say more, but for some reason they're blocking some of it, because I saw that wasn't crack distributed by the CIA to kill blacks, lol, and that says that my auto mod blocked it. That's hilarious. Zaman, you're ridiculous. Yeah, I've seen the He Will Not Divide Us. The auto mod is dividing you. He Will Not Divide Us is like the saddest thing in the world. He's a fucking train wreck. I can't really take him seriously, though. I mean, he's Shia LaBeouf. He pretty much ruined Indiana Jones. I mean, you can't take somebody serious that ruined that. Oh, he's a little cute with his little spiky horn.
Oh, magical beasts who serve us.
What keeps cutting? Are you having bad internet times, Nicodem? Yeah. Shia LaBeouf's a train wreck. Although the best part about him is the serial killer Shia LaBeouf. That was probably the best thing that ever happened from Shia LaBeouf. Okay, Marg Dread. I think you and Skaib are gonna have some merging going on.